This is my presentation on the Naphtali tribe. The Naphtali A Lost Tribe. This is going to be a brief dive into the Naphtali and their history. The 12 tribes of Israel were a group of tribes that all set out to have an Israelite presence in Palestine. Their presence created in the kingdom of Israel. Most of what is known of them can be heard in the Bible. Jacob, first mentioned in the book of Genesis and later named Israel, had 12 sons. Each one of Jacob's sons were the leaders of one of the 12 tribes created in 1254 to about 1004 BC. Naphtali was the sixth son of Jacob and the head of the Naphtali tribe. The Naphtali were told to be swift warriors, which is shown off on the battlefield. Their land bordered the Jordan River just west of the Sea of Galilee, and being the blessed child, the Naphtali land was fertile and considered a paradise. And here I have a picture of the current present-day Jordan River, just to take a little peek. And of course the Sea of Galilee, which the Jordan River connects. So this is present day, but you can probably imagine people settling down close to the river. The tribe of Naphtali, this is their symbol, which is basically a deer, and Naphtali actually roughly translate to female deer. This right here is just a quick video on how to actually pronounce.
Two different ways of pronouncing it. Both pronunciations are correct. Naphtali or Naphtali. Naphtali or Naphtali. And now you know.
So we have the name Naphtali. Naphtali was the son of Bilhah. Bilhah was the handmaiden of Rachel. Rachel and Leah were the chief wives of Jacob. Jacob is also known as Israel. So we have this Jacob, also known as Israel. In other words, Israel was to give birth to 12 sons. From these 12 sons come the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob had two main wives, Leah and Rachel, who were sisters. Rachel had a handmaiden, Bilhah, and Leah had a handmaiden named Zilpah. Jacob was also to beget sons from his handmaidens. And the handmaiden of Rachel was called Bilhah. From Bilhah was born Dan and Naphtali. Dan and Naphtali were full brothers, sons of Bilhah, two brothers whom Jacob had begat from Bilhah. And we are told about the way that Dan and Naphtali came into the world. Now first Rachel, after Leah and Rachel had both married Jacob, and Leah began to give children, and Rachel wasn't at first, in the end she was to give birth to two sons, Joseph and Benjamin, but it took a while before this came along. Before Joseph and then Benjamin came along, Rachel wasn't having children, and she saw Leah was there giving them out one after the other, so she got a little bit worried about it. We're told in Genesis 30, now when Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and she said to Jacob, "Give me children or else I die." Jacob's anger was aroused against Rachel, and he said, "Am I in the place of God who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb?" So she said, "Here's my maid Bilhah, go into her, and she will bear a child on my knees, that I also may have children by her." Then she gave him Bilhah, her maid, as wife, and Jacob went into her. Bilhah conceived and bore Jacob a son. Then Rachel said, "God has judged my case, and he has also heard my voice and given me a son." And therefore she called his name Dan. Dan means judgment in Hebrew. And Rachel's maid Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a son. a second son. Then Rachel said, with great wrestlings I have wrestled with my sister, and indeed I have prevailed. So she called his name Naphtali. Naphtali was a name given to him because he was called Naphtali because Rachel, in a symbolic sense, metaphorical sense, thought she was having a struggle, a wrestling match, as if to say, with her sister. And Naphtali means intertwined, and when you wrestle, the body is intertwined one with each other. So this is the way Naphtali got his name. So the names of people often tell us something about their characteristics and their potentials. We know that Naphtali was a natural athlete. He was fast, he was fleet of foot. So we also assume that he was good. He was a good wrestler, a good fighter, and we have other sources. So if you do have this quality, then it's natural innate quality, which is incidentally very useful, very valuable. You should develop. Be careful not to get hurt in practice, but if you're still young and able, develop it, make something out of it. It's worth your time. It could come in handy, and you'll enjoy the practice and the physical fitness that it should impart to you. Anyway, so this is one of the characteristics of Naphtali, struggling and wrestling. Also, it says that in Genesis 49:21, Naphtali is described. Naphtali is a deer let loose. He uses beautiful words. He uses beautiful words in Hebrew, Imri Shefer. This can also indicate musical ability. So if you have musical ability, this may also be an additional indication that you come from Naphtali. It can also imply eloquence, a good speaker, eloquence of speech, if you have this gift of speech and of writing, and so on. So this too is a blessing of Naphtali. We also should mention Naphtali is a deer let loose in Hebrew. This word deer, translated as deer, is ayala, meaning a doe, meaning a female deer. Naphtali was described as a female